Hi, I'm Tuulia of Honesty Europe, and I want to talk about codependent parents. So, what does it look like? When your parent is acting in a codependent way with you, or you as a parent kind of smuggle being like immersed into your child's life and having codependent behaviors. Um, Well, there is few signs, of course, every situation, every person looks a bit different, and there's few signs that could be indeed about unhealthy codependent dynamic from a parent. And basically, the first one for me is being overly involved with the child's business, especially compared to the age that they are at. So, of course, a parent is very involved if we're talking about a child of 3 years or 5 years old or a baby. And then when child is 12 or 16 or 21 or 30, the situation is very different. The parent does not need to be involved with everything, and uh, a level of healthy independence and separation. There's two separate people. Is I judge a good one. The parent doesn't need to know every move of the child. The parent doesn't need to be involved with everything and be reported, receiving a report of everything that a child is doing. I've seen this in with few of my friends where the parent is really calling once or several times a day and wants to know everything they're doing, and um, kind of is wanting to know who they meet and what they do, even though they are living in different cities and the child is over 40 years old. So I judge there is something um, not very healthy and serving either of the people there. Like, it's good to know and have warm and close connections, and this kind of reporting and uh, demanding to know everything. I judge is not the best way to go about a healthy separation and a healthy relationship. And then, of course, just wanting to know, then part of that often is the control. So control, like not only offering opinions, but really pushing the opinions, claiming that the parent knows best, especially we're talking about grown up or close to a grown up child. Um, yeah, wanting to have a say of the decisions of the child that is not appropriate to the age any longer, and that kind of thing. Um, and in general, this kind of what I call over involvement, like being involved in the decisions of the child, offering opinions and advice about everything or a lot of the things that the child is doing, um, very closely paying attention to what the child is doing and wanting to know everything or most of the things they're doing. So kind of, instead of having the parent having their own life and being busy with their own friends and own hobbies and own relationship, they're kind of living through the child and fulfilling a lot of the meaning through the child. And here comes another point, which is that the parent makes a lot of the success and happiness to happen through the child. So instead of celebrating their own achievements, like the relationships they have, the career they have, the things they do, and the skills they have, is kind of living through the child's achievements, let it be school or studies or awards or the looks or hobbies and so on. And then another thing is this kind of taking or responsibility of the child's feelings, so jumping into fixing and helping when actually what would serve the child more is witnessing, listening, being present, but not like trying to fix, trying to manage, trying to help when the help is not needed. And here we can also talk about smaller children. So a child being sad or angry is all right, it's normal, it's not bad. And child can be angry or sad and get over it, and they don't need to be fixed immediately. So rather than jumping in, just being there, being present, but not getting overly involved with the exact emotion that is going on with the child. And this also teaches the child, especially when we're talking about smaller children, like a message that your emotions are okay. You don't need to be different. It's all right to be sad or angry. It's okay to be excited as well. It's okay to be loud at times. So just giving that space to the child to explore and be themselves. And then another thing, which is a bigger thing, is manipulating the child's emotions. So somehow, not directly, but inadvertently, letting them know that what they are doing or saying or feeling is not all right. And making maybe general statements like anger is not good, or people should behave, rather than be clear that actually the parent is talking about the child. And then there could be some passive aggressive behaviors and projections. So the parent is projecting their own anger or anxiety or depression on the child in the way that is, again, not very direct, but somehow in the way of phrasing things and the way they look and the way the tone of the voice is, that the child knows without words that they should be different. The parents sending a signal they should be different, they should behave differently, they are causing the problem, they are causing the issue, something like that. Having a feeling of guilt and actually starting to parent the parent, like the child feeling a need to fix whatever is going on with the parent. And this is not a job of a child, even a grown-up child. A child's job is not to take care of the parent. Primarily, it's the other way around. Like there is the parent and then there's a child, and a parent decides to have a child, and they are taking care and responsible, especially, of course, when we talk about children that are still growing up. This kind of passive aggressive non-direct behavior that might have victimhood. So victimhood, playing a victim, playing a martyr. Oh, I always do this, I always do that, I never get a thank you, I never get an appreciation. That kind of behavior, kind of trying either knowingly or totally subconsciously trying to provoke guilt in the child and manipulate them to behave and be in a certain way. I guess the last two things is, one, weak boundaries. So I am I, you are you, the parent kind of stepping over the boundary with the child and getting involved in the way that is not appropriate to the age. And then low self-esteem tied up with the child's success, something I already mentioned a bit. And then denial that this is actually going on. So these are some of the signs that could show some unhealthy relationship or codependent ways of being. So there was quite a lot. I'm curious what comes for you around this. Is this personal to you? Bye.